Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kortiwada. In this video, we will learn how to write the test cases for remove address of an address management system. In my previous video, I have explained how to test our add address feature of an address management system. To understand more about remove address and address management system, I have created a series for address management system in my Angular tutorial. I'm continuing the same code for our testing purpose. Let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code. So here I have HTML, TS and spec.ts, and I'll show you the demo of this application, and later we'll be writing our test cases for that particular remove address feature. Let me go into the browser. Here, let me zoom it, and whenever our application loaded, it has two groups which are the default groups which I have added in my code. And when the user clicks on add address, a new group will be added. Whenever I click on the remove address, that remove address will be removing a particular address form group from our application. So now let me quickly jump into the Visual Studio Code and test our application. So here, let me write one it statement, and inside this it, let me write a description like test remove address feature. And let me use a callback function, and inside this callback function, let me get the ID first. So here we will be having a number of IDs, as this remove address will be existing for each group. So let me use an ID is equal to remove underscore address underscore one. So I want to remove this address, and let me save this and go to the spec file and write fixture dot detect changes. I'm detecting the changes, and once the detect changes is done, let me wait for stable, and whenever it is stable, I can use a then callback function, and inside this callback function, let me write const remove element colon html button element is equal to fixture dot debug element dot native element dot query selector of what is my selector. It's a hash, and remove button is my selector. Let me go to the HTML, copy this remove address hyphen underscore one, and this time it is not one. Why? Because it is in a looping state. So let me use an I. That means remove address 1, remove address 2. That will be changing based on this index value. So now let me save this and go to the spec file. Here I am using 1. That means I am trying to delete the first one. And whenever I click on this particular remove element, then my HTML remove address will be called. Let me create a spy-on for this remove address. So remove address spy is equal to spy-on of component instance comma remove address. The name of the function is remove address. Let me copy from this ts file and paste here. Now it has to call with args of 1 and dot call through. Why I am using with arguments as one? Because this remove address is expecting one argument. The argument is I. That means the index value. I can use any of the index value, and in this case I am using the one index. That means the second parameter or the second value, or else you can even no need to use this with args. Why? Because already you are pointing to the ID which is 1. So now whenever I click on this element, remove element dot click. Whenever I'm clicking this, it should call my spy. So our expectation is expect of remove address spy dot to have been called times of 1. It should call one time, and once I click this, my remove address will be called and it will update my address form. So let me update my fixture dot detect changes. When the detect changes is stable, that means fixture dot when stable, then I need to have a callback function, and inside this callback function we can test how many elements present in that particular array. So our expectation is expect of form group, that is component instance dot form address as form array dot length. It should contain only one. Why? Because by default it has two, and I'm removing by using a click event. So now it should be equal to 1. So it should have only one element. So here array form length is equivalent to 1. Why? Because we have removed the addresses array. That means the first element of that array, which is pointing to the index of 1, I have removed it. And whenever I'm removing that particular data in our address form, then our expectation is something like a object without that addresses. For example, I have clicked on this, so my object should not contain the first one, that means id2, and this one should not be there in my objects. So what is my addresses should be there. So let me use something like const addresses is equal to array which is containing only one test data, that is this one. Why? Because the index of this is 0, so I am removing 1. And now let me expect of component instance dot address as form array, and let me use dot value, and this value should be equal to, that means json dot stringify of this one should be equal to to equal of json dot stringify of the addresses test data. This is the addresses test data, and it should be equal to this addresses test data. Save this. Now it has been passed. Even without creating the test data also we can do, that is nothing but const obj addresses is equal to component instance dot obj dot splice or addresses dot splice of, I want to remove that splice one, that means the first index and the one count. So I can remove this, and now these obj addresses will be containing the removed value. So I just want to have component instance dot obj that will be containing the original object which is equivalent to this value, because I have deleted that value from that particular object. So here if you see, we are getting all the addresses because name and addresses email we are getting. Just I want to check the addresses, so you can use dot address. Save this. Now you can see all the three test cases has been passed. That means we are checking the spy on function whether that function is getting called or not, and also we are testing the length of the array, and also we are testing the values which are present in that particular array. So hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.